Hello, happy Tuesday. I am super excited to be here with you today. My name is Wendy Lee and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And we are going to do a little bit of live paper crafting. Hey Amelia, so excited to see you jump on. Yay! So today we are going to make this fun fall card. I love all the rich colors in these plaids. Have you seen this plaid paper yet? This is the Plaid Tidings. It's a 6x6 designer paper pack. Let's see if I can flip through. I've got one of each sheet here. So you can just see all of these great plaid patterns. So all kinds of colors. So they're good for all year long, not just fall. I'm skipping some in here. So lots of great patterns in there. So these are wonderful for masculine cards. And like I said, the colors work so that you can use this paper all year long. So this is new in the mini catalog. So a good one to get. Hey Kay, yay! Hey Ginger, so glad you guys are here today. Yeah, so this is what we're going to create. So I think it's fun and it's going to be a fast, easy card to do. So I'm going to show you some tricks or tips, whichever way you want to look at it. And we'll get on with it. So I am using the one of our returning favorites of the harvesthellos stamp set. This is a great one. You can use it for an apple or a pumpkin, and you can add a little Halloween face if you like. This is great for back to school, just sending somebody a feel better note. So it's a really nice one. So I thought I'd pull this back out. And there is a coordinating punch, which makes it so simple and easy to use. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started with our project. So I have got a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 Early Espresso cardstock that I'm going to use for the card base, and we'll fold this in half. So as I do each week, I will come back after the video and put in the description the complete supply list and all the measurements for all the layers so that you've got everything. So don't worry about that as we go here. So then I pulled in a piece of the I think this is what, In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is jam-packed with all kinds of great textures. So I love using this, and I just really like the richness of this dark wood panel. So that's what I'm using, and this is 4 by 5.25. So we're going to go ahead and just adhere this down with our Stampin' Seal. I was a little excited earlier with my Stampin' Seal and got a little crazy with it, so had to fix that. Perfect. All right, so I just think that adds a nice background touch to us. All right, so next I'm going to pull in a piece of the plaid, and let's see. Let me kind of move this sample out of the way as we go. It is 3 by 5 is the length of this, and we want to banner cut the bottom. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm going to pull in the tailored tag punch, and I know it's narrower than my paper, but this gives me a really good guide to give this banner. So I'm going to slide this in, and I am using the outside edges of my punch as a guide for centering, and then I'm just bringing it down to this first corner here. So let me center it left to right best that I can, and I'm bringing it down before this changes direction. I'm going to punch that. Now, yes, that gives me some flat edges, and you're like, Wendy, what is this helping you with? Well, this is going to help me bring my snips to connect this corner to that point. So now I know I'm centered, and I'm going to be the same on both sides, hopefully when I'm done. So I can just snip that away and snip this away. So when you have something that's wider than a punch that you've got, you can always use it, changing it up just a little bit to kind of help you get that. So I could have just snipped up the center and cut in, but I felt like I got a much better banner using that punch to help me get there. Perfect? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Hey Mary, hey Angela, so glad you guys could join today. And I will make sure I go back and read comments. It's a little difficult for me to do that while I'm live. It's a skill set issue for me. So anyway, I do go back and look at all of that. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave me questions and I will answer those. All right, next, let's work on our pumpkin. So let's slide this out of the way. And I am going to start with some Cajun Craze, some Mango Melody, and some pumpkin pie. And we're just going to take this pumpkin stamp set from the stamp set, blah. And I'm going to use Cajun Craze to stamp on Cajun Craze. I think my measurements on these are 2 by 2 3/4. Obviously there I took a scrap. So let me clean this real quick. And now I'm going to pull in pumpkin pie and stamp pumpkin pie on pumpkin pie. Great. And I'm cleaning my stamp off to the side. So you can use your Simply Chamois to clean your stamp, or I still like my Scrub and Mist. I still use it the most when I'm just doing regular stamping. Of course, if I'm using the Stamparatus, the Chamois is my go-to. All right, so I've got my 3 pumpkins all stamped out. Now we're ready to do a little sponging. Actually, you know what? I think I will punch these out and then we'll do the sponging because I think I'll get a better appearance. We'll get a little more of a haloed look. So let's just move that out of the way so my arm doesn't turn yellow. And I'm going to open up this. This is the Apple Builder Punch that coordinates with this stamp set. And I'm going to use it upside down and just slide my image in until I'm happy with my placement and give it a slight squeeze, double check it, and then go ahead and punch that. And then I can just get rid of my bits. And we'll repeat this for all 3 pumpkins, making you watch me do this today instead of doing it ahead of time. All right, now if your paper gives you a fit like mine is giving you, you can always add a handle, and I may show you that. I didn't need to on that one, but I can show you that. So anytime you have trouble, you know, you didn't leave enough cardstock to get in here, and actually that one's a little too tall along the bottom there where I used the scrap. So I'm just going to cut that away. But if you're having trouble putting it in, you can make a handle. So I've put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this and take my scrap paper. Now I have a handle, and I can slide this right in, and that will help me grab this without having to, you know, pull out a much larger piece of cardstock. So that allows you to use your little bits you want to do. You see all my pieces flying away here. All right, perfect. So now we have our pumpkins in each color. So I'm going to pull out a scrap of paper, and I'm going to start with this mango. And I've got a sponge and my mango ink, and I am just going to add a little bit of depth of color. So I like to work in a circular motion and really work that ink into the cardstock. So you can see there how that kind of blooms along the bottom there. So hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to sponge along the edge and give it a little bit of depth around that outer edge. Maybe a little bit more on that bottom too. And we're going to repeat this for each color. I just think it gives it a really nice appearance. Not so flat then, right? All right, so let's repeat that. We'll close this mango. And let's grab the pumpkin pie. We'll do the same thing with that one. Here, we'll start off with the circular motion at the bottom. I like that. And then we'll sponge those edges. Now, the angle that you do your sponging will create a different look. So the more up and down, the skinnier edge you're going to get. And the more angled you are against the paper, the whiter you're going to get. Nice. And my sponges are falling apart a little bit. My poor cat, who is no longer with us, but he used to like to get into my stamping supplies, and he would like to chew my sponges. Drove me crazy. But now I miss him. All right, a little bit on that Cajun. So the Cajun, I'm not going to see as much the contrast, but a little bit, I think it just adds. So you can see the difference left to right where we've added that ink. It just adds a nice richness, I think. I think I already said that. Anyway, all right, there we go. There's our pumpkins. All right, move that out of the way. Next, what I'm going to do is I am going to pull in the leaf, one of the leaves from the Autumn Builder Punch Pack. So it comes with 3 punches. It's got an acorn and 2 leaves. And I'm going to pull in a scrap of shaded spruce. And I think I need 7. Let's punch out 7 of these real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if I'm short, I can always come back and get another one. Or if I don't need that many. All right, so we'll gather these up. So I'm kind of building a collage in this center section along this banner. So whenever I'm building a collage, I like to lay all my pieces out and get it just so that it's looking good. And then of course now you got to pull it all up to put it down. So Mary Deathridge taught us at an event one time that if you quickly take a picture with your camera, then you can have your phone over to the side and you can look at the picture. So when you swipe all this away and build it again, you've got something to look at and you don't have to spend so much time trying to recreate it. So that has worked so well for me since that I do that all the time now. Right or wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start up. Oh, you know what? Before I go too far, let me punch some stems to my pumpkin. So this punch had the pumpkin and there's a little leaf and a stem. So I want my stems to be brown. So I've got a scrap of espresso. Isn't that funny? Sometimes they go flying and sometimes they don't. So I'm just going to punch out 3 stems. So I've got those for my pumpkin as well. So I think this is cool because if you were to adhere your stem this way, it looks more like an apple. But to me, if you flip it and do it like this, then it looks a little more like a pumpkin. So that's what we're going to do with ours today. Let me pull in my silicone craft sheet, blah, and we'll go ahead and get these adhered down. I've got a really gross, almost empty liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to put a dot on each one of these. And you might not be able to see that well on that craft sheet. Oh, I'm doing the wrong ends. Well, we'll try that again. I want the fat end, not the skinny end. You guys are supposed to catch me on that. All right. Maybe you did, and I missed the comment. Hi, Lorraine. So glad you're joining today. All right. So I am just going to adhere those little stems right on each pumpkin real quickly here. And this is why I have that silicone craft sheet, because where I put adhesive where I didn't want it and corrected myself, now I'm not going to have a sticky mess all over. It will let me just peel that right off of that craft sheet. So we'll just let that sit for just a moment. And then I'm going to start working with some of these leaves and get those all positioned where I want. All right, so I'm going to bring back in my liquid adhesive again. And I want to go ahead and add a leaf to the top back of this, just a little bit of adhesive to kind of hold it in place where I want it. All right, and I'll lay that one down. And then on this one, I actually think I'm gonna pop the leaves below it, which I know seems a little odd to do it that way. I could put the leaves down and then pop this up, which actually, let's do it that way. That might make a lot more sense when I'm going about this. And then I want to go ahead and add, I think, a leaf to the corner of this one. And then the others will build as we go. Okay, I think I'm going to build these as we go. Slide those aside. All right, so I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So this very first pumpkin that I put down, I went ahead and adhered this flat. Now, you can pop yours up if you prefer. You can put them flat. It's entirely up to you. I like lots of height and dimension, so I tend to maybe get a little excited with popping things up. So, all right, so we're putting that one down right there. So then next, I am wanting to put this pumpkin down, and I want to pop that one up. So I'm going to pull in some dimensional dots. You can use regulars or minis. I have minis at my disposal here, so that's what I'm using. And I'm trying to leave myself room at the top so that I can add some of those leaves in. I'm going to slide those in after I get this pumpkin down. I think that'll work easier for me. Ooh, sometimes the backs of these are hard to get off. All right, so we're going to slide this one in. And I kind of like that placement there. I like it going off the plaid just a bit. I don't think that hurts anything. And then I can add a little bit of adhesive. I don't want to go too crazy. To the back of this, and I can slide one leaf in right there, a little overlap going on, and another one here. Now, does a maple leaf make sense with a pumpkin? I'm not so sure, but I thought it looked cool. So even if it's not the right leaf, I'm going with it. So hopefully you guys are going to be okay with that. Not too hard on me, right? Okay, so then next I want to go ahead and pop up this pumpkin as well. I want a little more height on this one than this one. So I'm gonna need to double stack some of my dimensionals. So in this corner, I can put a single dimensional. But on this other side, I need to go ahead and double stack these so that they're popped up. I hope that makes sense. So since this is already popped up, if I go up on top of it, it needs to be taller. So let's go ahead and remove the backing on those two. And again, I'm coming in from the edge because I want to be able to have room if I want to slide some of these other leaves back in. So let's see how that works. All right, unless I'm backwards, which could happen as well, and sometimes we rip them off and start again. I'm gonna go, I think I like that right there. Yay! All right, so let's go ahead and add another leaf. Hopefully I'm in camera and you guys can see me. I get so caught up in the creation that I don't always see you guys. Hey Sheila, so glad you could pop in. All right, and we'll add a leaf down here at the bottom, sticking out. I know that doesn't really make sense, but I think it looks cool, so I'm going with it. And then I'm gonna put one right on the front as well. And then we'll add our sentiment, which will hopefully make that make more sense. Love it. Turned out really cool, right? Fast and easy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create our label. So I'm gonna pull in a scrap of very vanilla cardstock, and I am using the Give Thanks Sentiment and Early Espresso ink. And I've just got a scrap. I've got lots of little, I'm sure you do too, lots of little scraps of white and vanilla as well as other colors, I'm sure. So finding a small piece is not difficult to do. And then I'm going to pull in the Ornate Frames dies, and I'm going to use this little tag here. Now normally I don't die cut on camera, but I got a new product in yesterday, and let's try it. I've not tried it yet. I've gotten it out, but I just got my new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I think it's so cool. So it's really sleek and nice, very pretty, and hopefully you guys can see this all right. And then this just folds right out for your platform. I think there's other machines on the market that have some of these same characteristics. I think Stampin' Up! Did some research and pulled out the things that they thought were the coolest and made their own version. I like that it's really sleek. It's a little lighter weight than our Big Shot was, and storage is perfect. When you purchase the machine, now you guys can't purchase this yet. As a demonstrator, we can purchase it now. One of our many perks that we have for being a demonstrator, but starting September 1st, you guys will be able to order this. So if you've got a die cutting machine that is just worn out, I highly recommend this. This is awesome. I think you'll really enjoy it. If your machine is working fine, then you don't need to mess with it. No worries. Or if you need another machine, that's fun too. We will have a mini version of this coming out. I think that'll probably be end of the year, maybe even the first of next year. They haven't really given us timing, so I'm making that up. Okay. So, oh yay, Jean, you love yours? I know. It's so pretty. It just makes me smile. Okay, so when you order your machine, it also comes with a set of platforms. So you got a little quick start guide, which I thought was cool. And then all your platforms, you get 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 of the number 3s, and they have numbers on them, which is awesome. I think that's gonna make it so much easier to know what to use when. And so this is our main platform, the number 1, and it talks to you about different things and how to build your sandwich. So we're gonna start with our basic number 1 platform. Then number 2 says using with thin dies. So this is number 2, and it's also in my picture to use number 2. So I'm going to put number 2 down. There will be a magnet plate that is not yet available. That'll be available September 1st. So I can't wait to get that. And then we've got 2 of the number 3, which is our cutting plate. I'm going to put my cutting plate down. And then just like I did before, I'm going to lay down my my die and my cardstock, and I'm so used to having a magnet plate. This might mess with me. This might be disastrous. We'll see how bad or good it is. And then I need to add a number 3 back on top for my cutting. So let's slide that in. Let's see if we can keep that in its place, and we'll just crank this through. Oh, this cranks through so nicely. Oh, it's so smooth. I didn't have to use my muscles really, what little muscles I have. Very nice. Very, very nice. And we'll pull this out. I'll show you how it cut. And then I wanted to tell you, number 4 plate is for your thick embossing folders. So you'll need those. All right, so let's put this bad boy away. So I'm just going to fold it up and move it out of the way. Very cool. All right, let's bring back our sandwich and we'll take this off here. Cut great, no problems. I didn't expect we'd have a problem. But you know, you always have a problem when you do it on camera for the first time and you didn't test it first, which I should never do. But that's what I did. All right, great. I got my label and it didn't turn out too crazy crooked. So that's a benefit. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out some linen thread. I use this a lot. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. So I'm sliding that through the little hole there. I didn't measure how much, just pull some off. Probably wouldn't need more than 9 inches if you even need that much, but that's what I'm doing. It's just, and I like to leave mine on. So let's see, I do better with making 2 loops. I don't even know if you guys can see this. My fingers are so big and in the way. Well, it's ugly. So is that what your bows look like when you tie them? That's what mine look like. So then I just have to hold my knot and pull my loops tighter and then just re-cinch them. So you can do that a couple times if you need to. Just kind of hold that knot. That's the key there because then it's going to stay tighter. And I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So that was a really ugly bow, but I think it turned out good in the end. All right, let's bring our card back in. And again, I want to add dimensionals and stick this right on top there. I think that's cute. And if you don't want to add dimensionals to yours and you want your projects more flat, that's fine. It's costs you less for shipping sometimes, postage. Sometimes I get a little crazy and my cards get a little heavy and they do charge me extra postage if it's too bulky or too heavy. I pay the extra postage because I like my cards that way. All right, awesome. So let's finish this off on the outside with some bling. Gotta have some bling. So I'm pulling in the Holiday Rainstone Basic Jewels. And I don't know what I did to this package, but I've got it all stuck together. And we're gonna just add some of these pumpkin pie gems right to the front of the card. So we'll lift those off. Hopefully I am still in camera and you guys can see me. And we will add these on. Let's grab a larger one. That down there. It just adds a nice finishing touch. That's my mood lately, is to add a few little gems on every project. You've probably noticed that. Okay, now we're ready to move to the inside of this project. So I've got my piece of Very Vanilla, and you know, when I cut this piece here, that's a 6x6 paper stack, and so I cut it in half to get my 3-inch wide, but then I only did 5 inches long. So I had an inch strip at the bottom that I cut off, and I'm going to add this to the inside. I think it adds a nice little touch to bring just a smidge of that plaid to the inside. There we go. So I'm going to just pop that right in the corner at the top, and then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I don't know what I keep doing with that. All right. And we will put that in the bottom. All right, and then we can add this layer. You could stamp on this layer if you wanted to. That's entirely up to you. But I decided to just leave it like this and center it. So isn't that cute, just having that little peak of plaid? I think it really ties the inside and outside together, adds a nice special touch. And you were going to throw that possibly away anyway or save it for 10 years when you've decided to use all your little baby paper scraps, right? Yay! All right, so that's the original. Here's the one we did today. I hope that you guys love this, and we'll give it a try. All right? If you are joining me for the first time, I'm so glad that you came. Actually, if you've joined me ever, I'm always glad that you came. If you guys would leave me some comments, I will answer any questions you've got. Share the video with your crafty friends. I love it. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Thanks so much. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you guys next Tuesday with another fun project. Thanks so much. Bye.